I'm Jamie Lynn Thomas, and I'm a certified flower essence practitioner. And today I want to talk to you about some of the applications and the many other uses for your essences. So let's go ahead and start with the traditional applications. What was usually given by most practitioners were internal essences. They were given in dosage bottles, as you see to the right, and the client would take 4 drops a day, 4 times a day, for 1 lunar cycle or 2 weeks in between their sessions. In my practice, I tend to have the client take it, put it in their pocket, and take it whenever they think about it. And that could be 5-10 times in the first day. It could be taking most of the bottle within the first week. It looks very different for each person, so I let that be up to their body indications. This really gives you a general auric infusion all day long as you keep that bottle in your pocket. So it's a fantastic way of getting long-term exposure. So some of the body applications that we're going to be discussing in the next slides are listed here. So we've got the auric infusion. We'll be discussing acupuncture, meridian source point applications, baths, beauty creams, cosmetics, the cotton ball application, my favorite and most popular, the direct from the bottle to the skin application, which is a no dilution method, full body applications, spine, topical applications using specified pain zones, and then we would be talking about sprays, spritzes, misting, and reflexology maps, as well as quantum zones there. Let's discuss the first one, auric infusion. This is a fantastic method to use when other treatments are contraindicated or when the person is very sensitive. So we would think about this in cases of pregnancy. It's usually very, very safe to auric infuse, but you really want to see what the mom and the baby need. And if the mom is very sensitive, then you would definitely want to be doing the auric infusion opposed to floral acupuncture or bathing or any of the other methods that we're going to be discussing. There are some contraindications for some pregnancy, and we'll be talking about those in the floral acupuncture coming up next. So the directions for auric infusion would be to take 2 drops of the elixir straight from the bottle, put it into the palms of your hands, rub the palms of your hands together, and hold them in your field, whether that's a foot away from you, right over a body zone that feels really yummy to place your hands over, and let that start to infuse into your field. Let it fill you up. You don't need to know what's coming in, what's going. Let that be. Just breathe in the essence itself. And go to any place of the body that seems to be calling you to place your hands on it or just hold it there for longer periods of time. And when the treatment feels complete, I like to go ahead and end by grounding myself into the earth. And what I'll do is I'll flash open the palms of my hands, imagining that they're flashing open, and I place my palms of my hands down on the earth, usually on the floor in my office space, and I connect, sending roots from that flashed open palms down into the earth, connecting with the Great Mother. And then I flash open my shoulders and the crown of my head, and I invite roots to start to climb up into the great universe and the cosmos beyond, supporting and connecting both the earth and the cosmos. Another way of infusing the aura is to go and use the different chakra points, as seen here on the right, starting with the base root chakra and infusing into each chakra zone the essence of choosing as long as it feels good to the body, and then moving on and upward until you have completed the cycle, ending with violet at the crown chakra, always pointing the palm of your hand away from you up into the cosmos so that it's connecting you to your source. Floral acupuncture jumpstart, where something is blocked and just stagnant, not working. This is a fantastic indication for those who do very well with acupuncture or would like to try acupuncture but do not want the needles. And what I love about this one is Deborah Cradon, one of my mentors who I've been working with for the past year, she calls them needles of liquid light. And they really are needles of liquid light because they come in and instead of causing trauma, a slight trauma to the system by inserting the needle, you can apply the essence topically, which goes in, soothes the system, and creates big, big changes on a whole cellular level. There are some cautions for the floral acupuncture treatment, and it's mainly for women who are pregnant. There are 3 essences that you would not want to apply the acupuncture points to the person while they were pregnant. So you would leave out agrimony, hornbeam, and rock rose, as those acupuncture points are contraindicated, and we will just not use those throughout the entire pregnancy. You can use the flower essences in dosage bottles or infusions and other methods, but you will not be able to use them through floral acupuncture. If you are interested in this method, Deborah Cradon has a book out called Floral Acupuncture, Applying the Flower Essences of Dr. Bach to Acupuncture Sites and Zones. She also has on her website, which I state at the end for Corona, how she works with gems and other Hawaiian essences using floral acupuncture and meridian zones to create long-lasting changes. So they're a step up after the Bach. So Bach is really clearing emotions, and then the next level, they're working at the next floral corona kind of levels there. Acupuncture meridian zones. This is just a picture of most of the acupuncture points and some of the meridian lines connecting those points here on the body. And what is interesting is that there seems to be a meridian point or acupoint for each flower essence, gem, color, or environmental essence. And we're still exploring that. There's quite a bit of research being done. Deborah Cradon is doing quite a bit. Our company, The Vital Potential, has been working for the past year, hosting and doing quite a bit of essence research into the systems of the body. So it's a great way to look deeper. We've been working with our clients and delving into what our clients need from the acupuncture meridian zones and points. There's still quite a bit of research that needs to be done to go forward to say that every single essence has one, but we seem to be finding that quite a bit do. So I invite you, as you're exploring your favorite essence batch or company or set of itself, to see which ones might work on different meridian points, or if you take the essence every single time you feel it right here on your little pinky, then maybe there might be something there that we can look into a little bit deeper. Keeping a journal is a fantastic way to see this. And when you do trades on others, that's where you really get to see the magic. Bath uses, some of my favorite applications. You can use 3 to 6 drops of an essence per bathtub of water. Sometimes we'll add 3 drops, they'll come back in, see if it feels like the water is saturated enough. If it isn't, I'll add another 3 drops, and then I'll test again. And usually 3 to 6 to the most I've ever needed was 12, and that was when I really needed saturation in the bathtub itself. So I invite you to start with 3 to 6 and go from there. You can let your body be infused with the vibrational imprint of your choosing using the bath. You can add Epsom salts, Dead Sea salt, or other sea salts to purify and increase the potency of the essence chosen. So salt increases the vibrational imprint and makes them work better and a little bit easier with our own waters in our body. You can add other stones. I'm talking about raw stones or polished stones to your bath to increase the potency and provide a catalyst to the flower essence. You can use essences of stone to do the same thing, or environmental essences can also be added to the bath as well. You can add herbal teas or infusions to your bath so that you get a little bit of all worlds, adding on top of the Epsom salt so that you just have this really decadent, delicious bath, doing lots of medicine to you. Talk about a medicated bath. And then for the final deliciousness, you can add essential oils to the bath. Do not add direct essential oils because sitting down, especially females, right into a pile of essential oils on your very sensitive lady parts does not work very well. So make sure to use a carrier oil, about 1 tablespoon of oil, and then make sure not to use more than 16 drops of a high quality essential oil that you would feel comfortable getting all on your sensitive parts. So very sensitive, gentle essential oils work best if you've never used them in a bath before. So things like lavender would be one of the good ones to start with. You can also use bath as a hydrotherapy treatment. So compounding on what you just did in the bath, you can go ahead and have continued treatment for 45 minutes to 90 minutes afterwards by having somebody take a sheet and wrap you up in it and then wrap you up in a blanket so you're kind of like a burrito, and then go ahead, lay down and rest for about 45 to 90 minutes until the sheet itself, the one that was wrapped around you, totally wet, because you were wet and you didn't towel off first, dries up. So the body temperature will dry that up on its own and pull out any toxins. This is a great treatment for overload of the nervous system when you're doing trauma resolution, or when somebody's having huge triggers and they're feeling like they need to hide from the world. This is a really, really great way to move past that kind of what we call healing crises, but really leads to a healing ascension. And then we could use the bath as another type of hydrotherapy treatment where you would have somebody pour a vase full of water over your head and down the spine. So they would be dipping out of the bath and pouring it over the body. This is a very cleansing, moving a lot of energy kind of treatment. And it's fantastic for those who are very, very weak because it brings in a lot of light and energy into the body of the person receiving the treatment. You can do this to yourself as well. I use a quart mason jar and I pour it over the top of my head, but it feels so much better having somebody else pour a much bigger bottle of it over your head. A gallon seems to work best. You can use a vase, or what I really like to use is a non-used watering canister for plants. Get it at the dollar store, a brand new one, and then you can just dip that into each one of your tubs and have somebody pour that over your head, and it's a very delicious treatment. You can use it in your beauty creams, cosmetics, or any of your lotions. This, for practitioners, is best given to your clients as a take-home kind of personal treatment that the client or energy partner can apply themselves to their body. So because beauty creams, cosmetics, lotions, pain vacuum, and the emotional vacuum stuff out of the system, you want to have a practitioner who has been trained in doing this if they're going to touch you with the lotion themselves. But in my practice, I tend to only do a couple of these sessions a month. I limit myself to them. I prepare heavily ahead of time. And I tend to just give the treatment to the client. So I give a prepared lotion and have them give it to themselves, applying it every day until the treatment is gone, or once, twice a week until they feel like they have moved past what was really up for them. When you make your own beauty creams, lotions, or cosmetics, it's really easy to add these in at the time of bottling. So you can add a few drops of the essence to the blend and stir it in with a clean chopstick. So I usually just take a brand new chopstick out of the package and use that because it is clean with vibration, as well as no germs and whatever, so that you don't have to redo the batch. Essences, when added to creams, lotions, really give you that glow effect. If you want to shine your true self and really have people say, man, you're glowing, what are you doing different? Adding essences to your cosmetics and lotions will do that. It gets rid of the fogginess and the kind of haze that we put around ourselves and the way that we see the world as well. So these are huge, big, moving treatments and protocols. These really clear emotions and stuck image stuff, especially if you're using them on the face or full body treatments. And if you use them on the face or for full body to kind of clear image stuff, that the long-term crabapple will really help with things like eating disorders, disordered imaging, and other types of kind of sensations where folks really don't feel the confidence that they should about who they are as a person. And you would have to look deeper as to what your key was in your flower essence, that one thing that you'll be working on for most of your life, that one out of balance thing that's there because of something that happened, of who you are, that needs to just be continually reevaluated and balanced as you go on with your growth and your progression as your tree of life. You can also add them to pre-made lotions, creams, or moisturizers, and you can use a clean bowl for that day use. You don't want to use this for multiple days unless you've been given a treatment protocol from somebody. If you use them in a bowl, they will go bad within the day because the bowl will help broadcast it into the environment, which we will be discussing a little bit later, but it dilutes it and brings in all of the kind of haziness from the environment into the bowl itself, and then you're applying that to the body, so it's no longer a cleanly treatment. You would want to add 3 to 6 drops to the day's dollop of lotion or cream. You can stir with a toothpick and apply as normal. If you're going to apply to a batch of pre-made lotion, I suggest not doing it more than 2 ounces of lotion itself. And you would apply them at the top of the bottle, shake it up, and no longer touch it or anything from there, and that can be used for long-term use. Cotton ball applications. This is my favorite way to apply the essences because it's excellent for sensitive constitutions. And for most practitioners, you will have mirror imaging of the type of clients that you will get will be similar to how you respond to the essences. And I'm extremely sensitive to the essences most of the time, but I do require jump starts and really potent treatments every once in a while to move past my precipice points. So when you apply the cotton ball applications, you would be able to apply them anywhere on the body. And this is really the preferred method when working with clients because you have less transference and absorption of their energy or the energy of the essence this way. It keeps everybody clean and pristine. They're fantastic for compressing an acupoint application or for doing the spine applications because you can just take a cotton ball, dip it in your warm water, and then take it up at the very top of your neck and squeeze the cotton ball together and it'll apply it down the spine for you. What you can do with the cotton ball for the directions is that you would fill a clean bowl with warm to hot water, depending upon your temperature preference. You would add 1 to 3 drops of the essence in question, or essences if you're going to be working with multiple ones. If you're going to be working with one essence, applying to an acupoint, you're going to need to keep it to one essence. And if you're going to be applying to body zones or compressing large pain zones, you would want to be applying them according to the Dietmar Kramer body maps. and those would be 1 to 2 essences applied over a large zone area. So say the left knee has on the front of the kneecap and the side of the kneecap is the flower essence willow. And there you would want to just go ahead and apply willow to that entire area by taking a piece of cotton ball, gauze, or muslin cloth and compressing to that area. When I compress a zone with the cotton ball, trying to stay to kind of a pinpoint 1-inch area, I'll put the cotton ball down, and then I'll go ahead and I'll put a nice clean dry cotton ball over the top of the wet one to keep it warmer and so that the client and myself stay warmer longer. You can apply warm packs over it, so warm water bottles, heat packs over it do nicely as well. So we use a hydrocollator pack to keep our clients warm and move those essences deeper into the system, especially when it's cooler in the space. Our next method would be direct from the bottle applications. And this would be for those with stronger constitutions or those needing more saturation. So more of the essence itself. And the indications would be that the person has a stronger constitution. They tend to need more herbs, more of beer, liquor, whatever, to feel a change in their body. These would be great for numbed constitutions, folks who have a hard time sensing what is going on in their body. So when asked, what pain do you feel in your body, they might be able to know one location, but they may not be able to give a clear description about it. That's the type of constitution who may need direct from the bottle application. You would also, for a numbed constitution, want to start off right away with sweet chestnut. It's one of the most indicated essences for that type of situation, and it really helps jumpstart and bring light into the system and help folks really start to feel their bodies without being triggered by those emotions and sensations that are rushing and flowing in because they have been holding them at bay for so many years. It's fantastic for those who need more of the essence to change things in the system. So this usually happens a few times for me, that I need this deep saturation and that I'm needing a more, then later I'll need a more gentler application for future applications. But really let the body tell you what feels good and go forward from there. If you apply a really strong application and the next day you're kind of a puddle, a mess, an emotional mess, or you just are biting people's heads off or you're crying the opposite way, that was a little too much, and so you might want to go ahead and dilute the application and see how you do the next time. If that does happen, you want to wait 2 to 3 days for any type of shaking up of emotions and stuff so that they can settle. Once you feel grounded and balanced again, then you can go ahead and try more treatments and methods of application. A really fun one is to use edibles and other food uses with the essences. So my sister, she does a lot of baking, and when she adds essences to her frostings, people remark that they're especially delicious. Now, she always marks that she puts them in the ingredients so people know what they're taking, but so she's not dosing them. But these are absolutely fantastic to add to beverages and tons of other things. So I've put them on cooled baked goods, different puddings, avocado puddings, salad dressings, marinades. Add them to whatever your body is calling for. If you're making a delicious meal and all of a sudden you're feeling like you need some support from that meal that's not being given, perhaps you might want to add a couple of drops of your blend to it and see if that changes it for you. It can also harmonize and bring a little bit more life to foods that are lacking in that vitality that they once had. You can add them to things that may normally make you a little bit imbalanced. So, for example, if you eat sugar and you get hyper and emotional, you can go ahead and add a few drops of Rescue Remedy or some other essence that's indicated to settle your system and bring you to a more relaxed state so that it's not a trigger or a smash or jumpstart into the system. The water method, or the full body application, is a fantastic method when you would use warm water infused with the essences, and then you would apply it to the body with a sponge or a cloth. This is really a great thing for hot days. It'll cool you down, fantastic for babies, for those who are convalescing or are homebound or in hospice. It's also a fantastic, very nice treatment when applied by another person to the person receiving the treatment. So this is a good kind of trade treatment, and it adds added healing when you're receiving it from another person. Our spine-specific applications we would use in combination with the warm water and cotton ball infusion method, or you could direct from bottle method. I regularly use the cotton ball method as the body seems to take in the warm water easier, and the cool liquid tends to give the system a little bit of a shock from the bottle. So when I do direct from the bottle treatments, I will go ahead and warn the person that we're going to be applying them and it's going to be cool. These are best treated for warm days, direct from the bottle, or for constitutions like the sweet chestnut who need that jump start and that kind of shock to come back and feel what's going on. It is an excellent method for your key essences and bringing in the light body and kind of jump starting the light body to life. So either one of them, the warm water method or the direct from bottle method, works really nicely. When you use the cotton ball and you stick it down the spine, this will do long-lasting changes, especially if you do them morning and evening applications. You can apply all 38 of the Bach flower essences to the spine at once for a massive clearing, but be warned that you will have a healing crisis and ascension will occur with this hugely transformative treatment. TX means treatment. It will last 24 to 48 hours. And really, I am warning you, this is a very, very strong treatment. And if the system has never experienced essence therapy, you need to not do this. You need to put it on your to-do list for further down the road when you have cleared some of the other base emotions. I've done this treatment myself, and it knocked me out for a couple of days, and I have done lots and lots of work with the essences. So please be careful, but it is one that you can play with. There are topical applications to the pain zone. This is a copy of the poster of the Dietmar Kramer Bach maps. And you guys have these uploaded in your Bach body maps folder on your Google Drive. So feel free to look at those where you can see them much clearer from there. But you would go ahead and you would use the pain zones according to where you're feeling pain in your body. Look it up on the diagrams here, and then you would create a lotion, a cream, a massage oil, or just a general oil to apply to your body. You could do aloe vera gel, perfect for really hot, dry climates. You can add it to water. You could do compressing, so long-term compression, so 45 minutes, compressing the warm water and the essence into a pain zone, or doing this daily for long periods of time. You can add it to your cosmetics, pain salves. The applications are limitless here, but these are really specific treatments that go in and they vacuum out stuck stuff in those pain zones on the body. So really be cautious about how you're using these. And these are the treatments that I was discussing earlier about giving them to the client in a lotion or oil. If I'm going to be doing this in session, I would be using the water compression method only, as I would just stick the muslin cloth into the warm bath of water. I would stick that on the person. I would stick a towel over them, and then I would stick a warm hydrocollator pack on top of them, and I would let them sit for about 45 minutes while I usually do like cranial sacral therapy or reflexology on them while they're receiving that deep transformative treatment. Other practitioners will just hold the space who don't have bodywork licensures. They'll just sit, hold the space, and witness the transformation. The person on the table can ask them to come and hold a particular part of the body, put pressure there. Amanda, when she's done trades with me, has taken rocks, applied them around my body, wrapped me up on the table in like a balloon, kind of burrito kind of thing, taking all the sheets and just wrapping me into a cocoon. And that has worked very nicely as well. So just follow your intuition, see where it takes you. If at any point during the treatments that you start to feel shaky, needing to get up, move, scream, yell, any of that stuff, follow your body-mind and go with it. Just communicate to your energy trade partner. Sprays, spritzes, and misting. Sprays, spritz, and misting are perfect for infusing the auric field and the physical body at the same time. I like to combine them with the internal dosage bottles so that you're hitting both those sides at the same time so that the person really feels like they have a giant net of support there for them. They're really good for emergency and acute care. And for those who are working on long-term imbalances, needing essential oils as part of the product protocol, they need to play an active role and have a conscious kind of reflection into why they're using the essences in their transformation process. This is really for those who like to play an active role in their healing. And most of my clients do, because that's the type of way that I am, and so I attract that type of client to me. It's also for those who need more saturation into their system. So if they need the saturation, but the direct from bottle method is too strong for their constitution, we would have them do the diluted forms of the sprays and an internal blend so that we would hit it from both ends there, so that the person's still getting that network of support, but it's coming to them at a level that's easy enough for their system to take. I traditionally make a 2-ounce spray bottle with spraying water in between my 2-week sessions, and most of my clients will go through the 2-ounce spray bottle within that 2-week time frame. Some of them will go up to 4 months or 4 weeks with that. I tend to do 1 to 3 drops of each indicated or chosen essence, and I'll do 3 drops for those people who need more saturation. 1 drop for those who are more sensitive to the essences and react very strongly after the treatment. You can add up to 16 drops of essential oil. I like to use the tree oils because I feel that they work really nicely with the Bach oils or with the Bach essentials because they really have similar indications. So I have a client who's feeling guilty for their brother's mistakes and is feeling responsible for his mistakes, although it was her brother's, not her own. And so what we would do is we would add pine essential oil to her blend as well as pine essence, flower essence, so that she would be hit by 2 ends there. And that really moves things deeply in the system. I'll also let the client imagine their favorite scent or describe it to me, and we'll see if we can find a match with their olfactory senses and the body-mind connection. So that's when we will be handing bottles and be like, smell this. Does this one feel good? What memories does this elicit in you? Oh, where do you feel that in your body? And if I'm going to make a 4-ounce bottle for a 2-week interim session for a client, I'm gonna do it for someone who's like a sweet chestnut quality or has a sensory shutdown kind of mode. This will allow the constitution to really be saturated with more essences for a longer period of time at that diluted kind of space there. So this is a great way to get the best of both worlds. There's some fantastic reflexology applications. You can apply the essences using the body zones. The Dietmar-Kramer maps, you can apply them according to the reflexology maps or the pain zones associated. So you could use the next slide here with the reflexology chart and say your big toe was hurting right on the tip of the big toe there. And you're like, man, I feel like I stubbed my toe, but I didn't stub my toe. You might want to look at this chart and go, oh, okay, yeah, wow, that's the crown or my sinuses. Am I having a headache, or am I feeling like I might have a sinus congestion, or maybe I have a sinus infection? And you would go ahead and apply the essences to the sinuses. You can go ahead and look on the Dietmar-Kramer map, see what the sinuses zones would be, and then you can apply them to the toe on this zone right here with your finger from the direct bottle method, so 1 drop of the essence can go on there, or you can do the cotton ball method, whatever feels yummy to you. One of my new favorite methods is the quantum or the broadcasting applications. So bowl broadcasting, you can do it to the environment or specifically to a person. And what you would do is you would take a bowl, clear, and it would be full of real good quality water, and then you would put drops of the chosen essences in the water itself. They would be what was up for you, the house, or the relationships in the house. There are some warnings here, though, because if you broadcast into an environment or a space where others will be there, you must let them know somehow that you are doing this, because it is not cool to be dosed and feel emotions, sensations in your body that you're not ready to work on, see, feel, whatever yet. So this can cause suffering, and it can really cause vague feelings of being invaded, and they can come with even the best of intentions from the person. So what to do is that you can leave a little sign by the bowl in an easy to see place. So if I'm doing broadcasting applications to the environment in my home here, I'll leave them on right in the front door, and the first thing that everybody will see as they come in the door will be this bowl of water broadcasting with a little note on it that says what is broadcasting and what the intentions are on it, if it's supposed to be clearing the environment. And I'll let everybody in the house know. You can let everybody in the house choose an essence to clear the environment. So say, there's been a fight in the house, or that people are having trouble in their own lives and they need to be able to come and be cohesive in one space, but need that personal support at the same time. Each person can choose an essence, and they can create a ritual out of the quantum bowl broadcasting that will broadcast individually to each person, the environment, and to beyond, really, where you want it to go. This is really changing things in many different time and space zones when you do the bowl broadcasting. You can take down the broadcast when you're alone, so you can just cover the bowl. I just will cover it with a piece of paper, and that usually feels like it contains it in that space. You can also dump it out, get rid of it, no longer use the broadcast. You can use the Flower of Life board to focus your broadcast, and this really will focus it to one individual. So you sit down with your intention. I've got all this stuff going on. I put the bowl on there, and because I'm not going to be doing it to the environment, and I'm broadcasting it right to me with the intention on the Flower of Life board, nobody else in the house feels what's going on with that essence, because I'm the only one who's receiving it. You can also use your intention that the broadcast comes only from you and nobody else, and goes to nobody else or nothing else as well. So it's all about intention, because where intention goes, energy flows. So feel free to use it for environmental cleaning, clearing. I use it whenever I clean my house. Some people use it for feng shui to activate, cleanse, and release things. That's not my particular practice, but I've heard of it, and I've heard of great benefits from it. So if that's your thing, please let me know if you have any experience in that. I'd love to hear more. You can also use it in the garden, in garden sprayers and bowls to support the environment, the species in the environment. So if you want to support more of the birds, the bugs, whatever you want to do, you can work with different sets. So the Flora Corona specifically uses the colors. Deborah Craydon has you put all the colors, the color spectrum, and all the Hawaiian flowers in a garden sprayer, and it really does bring a lot of plants, animals, friends, everything to life coming with those. Paralandra by Michelle, she has the Nature and Soul Ray essences, and these work specifically with imbalances in the energy frequency rays of the environment and the person working with the plant spirits themselves. And she has a very specific line that works with the garden itself. So if you're really interested in that, she does a lot of nature research as well. So I have left all of the contact information, their website information, on the final slide. And then environmental essences or changes that you can use to the environment can be things like the geofloras from Flora Corona. That's the seed of life, the flower of life, and the tree of life, using them to really change and shift what's happening in the environment. So there's been some kind of testing or provings where different practitioners of Flora Corona are using the geofloras, and they're going to different water zones and areas that are not the healthiest, and they're using 3, 6, and 9 drops of the geofloras to transform some of the energy vibration of those waters themselves. Something neat about the geofloras is less is more with them, because they tend to create at least energetically, a type of catalyst reaction that starts one and then cascades all the way down to all the rest of the other water molecules in that area, and then broadcast that out to a larger zone, trying to connect to all over the rest of the world and the world that people are using the geofloras. They're specifically environmental essences created from different pristine environments in Alaska that help hold a container in space for deep transformation. These are my stabilizing essences that I use when people are going through transformation with the soul essences, the flowers, and the gems, the other massive catalysts of change that really force the flowers to go to a deeper level. The environmental essences are done by the Alaskan Essence Company, and their information is on this next slide as well. So Bach English essences, they're my preferred source to get Bach flower essences because they have higher vibrational imprint. We discussed this in the history of flower essences, so feel free to go and refer back to that for more information. Flora Corona, these are our higher energetic vibrational kind of quantum essences. These are really ascension essences, and I use them in my practice as that. These are not to be used for folks who have not used other essences before. They've done a little bit of emotional clearing first. Paralandra, they're fantastic for going through and doing the kind of PEMS method, where it's the physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, yes, no, maybe method, using dowsing and other techniques to find what would balance the energy body systems of the body. These are really energy system balancers. She has a specific set focused on cranial sacral therapy. They're her Rose 1 and 2 sets, and they work specifically with the cranial plates of the craniosacral system. And then the Alaskan essences, which are really pristine essences. They're the step up from Bach in between the Flora Corona. And I hope you got some information from this and that you'll be able to go forward and explore all the different applications of essences.